Welcome back to the Crochet Crowd, as well as my friends over at yarnspirations.com. Let's talk about the difference between double wrapping and also double stranding. I've never actually done a whole project in double wrapping before, and this is what this looks like. So I've taught the stitch in the past, but I'd never realized that the comprehensive difference that it really is versus this one. So this area up here has been ridged, but here it's been double stranded and this is double wrapped. Let's zoom in and show you the difference. The double wrap here on this side is a lot tighter in stitch work, so it's actually a lot more consistent in the actual stitches itself. This one's more loose, but they're both suitable for an adult's head. Now when you look at this yarn here, this has been double stranded, and you will notice that two colors have been used in it. So we had to marl it because we had to double strand it. So if it's the same color, you would probably never see the difference. However, you would see the difference in the way the stitch definition is. So you can see sometimes that the strands are in different places because it's going onto your hands or it's going into the yarn feeder, and it can change positions whether it's on the top side of the peg or it's on the bottom, and it can constantly switch around. So you can see that between one to the other they can actually be looking completely different. Here, because it's double stranding, because you're wrapping the first time and then going the second time, the yarn order is staying consistent each and every time. So therefore the stitch work actually looks a lot more refined, and I find that the ridges actually look a lot more consistent because of that. So let's give you a visual of what I'm talking about. So in double wrapping, what's gonna happen is that you're gonna go around just with one strand itself, but you need two strands for the thickness. So when you come back all the way around again, what's gonna happen is that you're just going to come around, and the second time you'll come around is that the color will stay on top. So the yarn order always stays in the same way. So when you go to flip this over top of the other strands, that the yarn colors are always staying in order, and so therefore the consistency of the stitch is actually is there. And because it's double stranded as well, it's tighter. So in double stranding, so let's just pretend we're double stranding. So we usually have two different yarn strands, and if you're marling it would be two different colors. So when you go to start, you're just wrapping. So the order of how they appear on the loom can change just by the natural wrap. Okay, so sometimes that the one color, this blue, is up here, but then it's down here. So therefore it doesn't look wrong. It's just something, if it bothers you, that's something that you can fix. So when you come around again, you know, when you're going to knit, do you see how the blue, see the light blue is here, but then it's here, but then the light blue is here, and then it's here. So you can see that they've changed locations. So it's just a neat way to be able to determine what you want really in a hat. So if you want it to be a little more interesting, you can do that. You can also, if it really bothers you a lot and you're still double stranding with two different yarns like that, you can yarn feed the two strands just like you're double wrapping as well, and just run two strands separately instead of putting together in your hand at the same time. It'll just take you a little bit longer, but you can use two yarn feeders and then feed that around as well. So that's the main difference between double wrapping and double stranding, and you have to decide what's gonna work for you. So until next time, it's Mikey on behalf of the Crochet Crowd. So it's my friends over at yarnspirations.com.